check on the furniture that you came with. Is that correct?
I want to do my walkthrough. That's the court order. Let me do my walkthrough, and what I'm personally checking for is my belongings. I moved my whole life from Los Angeles to here. I also had a baby here. I lived in this house. I decorated this whole house. So yes, I absolutely want to make sure that my things are taken with me as
In addition to what's packed up.
I want to make sure. I can't say for addition. You might be right. He might have packed everything for me, but I deserve a walkthrough because of court order. So that's what I'm here for.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to, I might walk out empty-handed. I just want to make sure that my house that I know is coming with me.
Okay.
And so it's leaving with just his house being his.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can tell which items are in each box, which is fine. I just want you to know if it takes me a while, understand why. Because I can't point out.
I have all day. I mean, I know you probably don't have all day, but like, you know, whatever it takes, just so
I'm glad
we're
you have all day.
that
We're
we're
good.
all good.
We're totally good.
Guys on top of Fortune 500 companies, right? What was their biggest investment? Immediately, they may think financial investment, but the biggest investment is in friendship. It's in
Relationship.
yes, in their relationship. Because if you ask them where they took their biggest losses, there's a column that simply states in Forbes that says married and divorced, right? And this is where Fortune 500 companies turn into Fortune 250.
Tell us the truth!
You know, young Jeezy's decision to marry Jenny Mai has always puzzled me. Because here's a young black man who is successful, well respected in the industry, well respected in his city, and, you know, possibly responsible for one of the greatest moments of healing that hip hop has seen doing the So Icy song on the verses with Gucci Mane. He has everything going for himself. So why would he decide to not marry a young Asian wife, but marry a wall-banger Asian wife in a situation that was destined to fail from day one? And you say, how do I know it was destined to fail? Because it did. Any relationship that fails that quickly was destined to fail. They didn't even make it through the novelty period. So he does this woman, Jenny Mai, the great service of letting her have his seed and now they have a beautiful daughter together. But what she did recently in her battle with him for primary custody, which Jeezy has fought for up to this point, is very egregious. Jeezy moved into the basement of their home, of their marital home, the home they shared during their marriage, their brief marriage. And he took his artillery downstairs. So Jenny Mai says she doesn't want her daughter around Jeezy because Jeezy's a dangerous man. And she took a photo, an image of that little girl with one of Jeezy's weapons. Now the weapon was still in a bag, but the bag he carries it in. And she's sitting down on the floor beside the bag. Now here's the thing. You may say that's possible, but this is a little girl. According to Jeezy, they never let her get close to doorways, and she's never unmonitored at any time, which I understand. When a kid is when a kid is a baby like that, you have to monitor them at all times. You know, some daycares have these cameras set up where, as a parent, you can log in and watch your child whenever you feel the need to have some reassurance that your child is doing okay. What kind of woman would do this? See, here's the thing, and I'm starting to see a pattern here. When things like this happen, they don't really get a lot of coverage. And what I'm saying is, this is the same thing that we complain about all of the time. This type of energy, this type of, using a child against a man in the court of law to make a man seem like an unfit parent so you can have primary custody and therefore, get the lion's share of child support and do all of these things. Yes, we see these things happen all the time, but the bottom line is, this is a non-black woman doing this. And this is not me jumping off the porch being a panderer or anything. This is me looking at Jeezy and all these other men who thought crossing to the other side was going to save them. See, the relationship problem, the problem with women in relationships in America, it's not about any particular race of woman. It's about the Americanization of a woman. It's about the Americanized mindset that a woman embodies. It's not fit for any type of commitment. In America, you commit to yourself and your own cause. The moment women started to take that on, that mantra, as as their slogan, everything changed. Relationships were dead at that point. So am I saying that there's no possibility at all? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if a woman is already well known and she's already said some of the things that this woman has said, listen to some of these things.
Dated black guys.
Loved black guys. Yeah. Yeah, I did. But for me, dark meat on the side, white keeps me mean and lean. That's why I married white. Man.
Absolutely, because I know women who want the constant attention from a man and don't want to feel like they're single. They look single. So they want it, whether it's a different placeholder every week, but they have somebody there. So it's not just men. It's women
But
too.
do they marry their placeholders?
I think that in their sense of rebound, if somebody gets out of a bad relationship, they could without knowing that they're a placeholder. I think that. Because not usually would people commit to somebody who they know is just a placeholder. So they might have just been like, oh, you're cool. You're non-problematic.
Yeah.
You're comforting. You cook for
Right.
me. You make me feel good. So let's marry, but you're really not in love with that person.
Ooh, that's a tough one to
We
realize.
are giving the good information.
Now, when you listen to her say that, Jeezy was supposed to be a side dude. She didn't mess around and married the side dude. Why? Because the side dude was a sucker enough to wife her up. She never had any intention on being with Jeezy like that. Let me tell y'all something right now, and I want y'all to understand. When it comes to longevity and commitment and creating family and legacy and all of that, nobody wants the black man but a black woman, and nobody wants the black woman but a black man. We have these outliers where every now and then, we'll see a good story, but for the most part, we're all we got. And when you see a man like Jeezy going through this, I don't want to see any man go through this at all. But when you put your trust in a woman because she's, another nationality or, has a different upbringing or, a different cultural background, you end up in this situation like here that Jeezy is in. You know what this situation is? F around and find out. That's what he's doing right now. So the fact that this woman will go through this, it made Jeezy just say, I'm not even fighting for primary custody anymore. And I guess what Jeezy's saying is that if you want primary custody so bad that you're going to put my daughter in harm's way, you go ahead and have it. But what I would do if I was Jeezy, I'd cut the whole situation loose. The whole situation was cursed. The whole situation was damned from the beginning. I'd cut it all the way loose, let her have the child and send money. I'll send you the child support, but you go ahead and do your thing. Remember now, I'm supposed to be the side dude. You remember you said dark meat on the side. So, hey, look, I'm cool with that. At some point, Jeezy has to accept the fact that he made a bad decision and married the wrong woman. Many of you men, at some point, you got to accept the fact that you made a bad decision and married the wrong woman. And if that's what you did, just embrace that. Own up to that. Accept the fact that you crossed the line. You knew you were marrying the wrong woman. You married her anyway. You knew you and that woman weren't compatible. You knew you and that woman weren't compatible, but you married her anyway. You knew that woman didn't have your best interests at heart, but you married her anyway. You knew you weren't really all that attracted to that woman, but you married her anyway. Jenny Mai is not a very attractive woman. I've seen much more attractive Asian girls than her. And I'm just saying that I'm not saying she's a terribly bad looking woman, but come on, man. You mean tell me Jeezy couldn't do better than that? Come on, man. All the things a man look for in a woman, she ain't got none of them. She didn't even want the guy. Jeezy would never be her first choice on any planet unless they were the only two people there. And then if they had toys, that she probably wouldn't pick Jeezy then. I want y'all to learn from this mistake that Jeezy made. He thought that he was going to get a better version of femininity, a better version of wifehood, a better version of shut up in his obedience. But what he got is a much worse version because he got the version of a woman who doesn't even view him as her type. He's her type to play with, not to stay with. But let's be honest, Jay Jenkins got a little bit of paper. Jenny Mai ain't papered up like that. And so when she realized that Jay Jenkins, her perennial choice for side dude, would wife her up and put her in the most dominant position in the most formidable position in his life, she jumped on it. And let me tell you something. You say Jeezy divorced her, but let me tell you something. Sometimes the best thing somebody can do in their estimation, is not leave you, but run you off, make you leave them. And I can promise you, the way Jeezy bailed out of this situation, man, that one was getting on his nerves, dog. She was getting on his nerves. But here's the problem. Why didn't Jeezy know that in the first place? Because he didn't take his time and properly get to understand the woman. I don't say vet her, you vet women for dates. When you're looking for a wife, man, you don't vet the woman. You take your time to get to know that woman through and through. The best thing you could do for a woman is be her friend first. Not even real friends, because y'all don't even have a history to be friends, but develop that type of understanding with her so she can be relaxed and she can talk to you and she'll feel like, nothing's off the table when she's having a conversation with you. And that's how you find out about your woman, because there's no way any man with any sense in his brain would marry a woman who says the type of man you are is for the side for me. You just a side piece to me. You just a side piece. That's what she told him. That's what she told the world. So when she says dark meat on the side, guess what, Jay Jenkins, aka Jeezy? You're a dark meat that she's talking about, bro. I would suggest that you just flee this situation. Leave it alone. Let her have the child, send the money. No, man, and just be done with it. People say, well, if you ain't there when they little. Man, listen, as long as you send money and take care of them, dog, then when they get older, you'll always be able to develop that relationship with them. Now, there are sometimes you can be in the house with your kids all the time and the relationship is bad. So I'm not saying this is guaranteed, fail-safe and foolproof, but man, there's a great likelihood that you'll still be able to bounce back and develop that relationship, especially when that child starts to understand the role that her mother played in this situation. So I say to Jeezy and other men in a situation like this, sometimes you just got to know when it's time to leave a woman alone before you get yourself into a permanent situation like this. Because you dance and wash your way into these situations with your little tuxedo on. Man, she come down the aisle and, bum, 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 bum. But you know what? Ain't no celebration on the way out. Ain't nobody partying and drinking and having a good time eating and being married on the way out. You got to fight to get out of it. And the crazy thing is, when you had to fight to get out of it, you had to fight to get in it. But getting in it, you was enjoying the fight so much you didn't even know you were fighting. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. Subscribe for more videos. And as always, Alpha's up, Beta's down. Peace.